Hi there, this is John Rust. I'm running to be your next United States Senator for the great state of Indiana. I teased this in last night's broadcast as sort of a riff on Jim Banks' 2023 reading list, so I'll get that out of the way, but the serious part is to follow after that. So, Mitch McConnell's handpicked stooge, Jim Banks, earlier this year tweeted out his reading accomplishments for 2023. That's really all he accomplished. For someone who has repeatedly missed votes in Washington, it's amazing how many books he had time to read. But books are windows to the soul, or lack thereof. So let's dig in. Obviously, quite an array of books there. I guess when you're an elected member of Congress paid by the taxpayer $200,000 a year, you do indeed have a lot of time on your hand to read. Remember, Congress is really not even in session more than 130 days a year. Being a member of Congress is the highest paid welfare queen job in the USA. So little responsibility, you don't even have to show up to vote to get paid. Jim Banks missed the vote on raising the nation's debt ceiling by $4 trillion on May 31st. He missed a major government funding vote on November 7th. And incredibly, he missed the vote on impeaching Mayorkas on November 13th, 2023. What was he doing with all that time while he was missing votes? He was apparently at his $1 million home in Virginia with his feet up, reading a book. His reading list contains some massive contributions to literature. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Spare, no comment needed. Andrew Agassi's Open, I guess about the U.S. Open tennis tournament. The rest appear to be books on how to be a career politician, biographies of Ted Kennedy and Mitch McConnell. This happens to be day 17 of Jim Banks refusing to sign the pledge to the people of Indiana to remove Mitch McConnell. Both President Trump and I are pushing for McConnell's removal, but apparently Jim Banks is too busy rereading Mitch McConnell's book. Oh well. Anyhow, enough about him. Books are windows to the soul. I want to highlight just a few of mine that I've read that have been very important to me and my development since I was young. A Walk Across America by Peter Jenkins. I cannot more highly recommend a book for any patriotic American anywhere. This book is about Peter Jenkins as he starts out as a disillusioned hippie in the early 1970s, literally walking and working his way across this great country of ours to find out what America is really all about and who makes our country great. It is a book of faith and the American spirit in times of tumult, just like today. Back then, our country was split over Vietnam, and Richard Nixon's resignation still hung in the air during the celebration of our nation's bicentennial 200th birthday. However, Peter, as he walked, found American after American of all races and economic levels who understood that what makes America great is our faith in God and our people. I found this book when I was in high school in the library as a display recommended read. I have read through this book probably at least a half a dozen times over the last 30 years. If you want to know who I will fight for in the United States Senate, it is the heroes of this book. The Mary Elizabeths of North Carolina, the farmers, the oil derrick workers, the waiters, the ranchers, all across this nation. People that work hard for a living, pay their taxes, and love America. He has a second book as well that continues the walk. It's called The Walk West, and it completes his story. I cannot more highly recommend these books, especially for young people who are questioning the greatness of America. America has a great story, and Peter's book tells it well. During my high school years, when I found those books, our president was Ronald Reagan. His positive love of America gave me an early love for his version of Republican ideals. Those are of limited government, a strong military, and true economic prosperity. But the key to Ronald Reagan, and indeed a partner in this new conservatism, was Margaret Thatcher. Jim Banks likes to read about the spoiled royals. I prefer to read about Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher's brand of conservatism, growing up as a shopkeeper's daughter, is a keystone still to this day of the modern conservative movement. Thatcher literally remade Britain into a capitalist country once again, showing that the people are the best choosers of what to do with their money, not the government. It is a lesson today that is unfortunately falling by the wayside in Indiana, as the Indiana Republican Party has morphed into a state party of control, attempting to pick winners and losers in the economy. I know that it is for the individual to choose your best course of action in your own life, not the government. I got into this race to be your next United States Senator because I know exactly how the overreach of COVID brought churches to be locked up, small businesses to be closed, and vaccinations forced on people when the ramifications were not known. I know how COVID was used by the government right here in Indiana to not only shut our business so they can pick and choose who is to succeed, but to change the election laws so that only the Indiana political establishment can run for political office. Not the 81% like you and me, who have been just working our lives, paying our taxes, and doing what is right. I was chairman of the board of Roseacre Farms, my family's egg farms throughout Indiana and America. We literally feed tens of millions of people every day. I know exactly what hard work it takes and requires to accomplish that. To oversee thousands of employees and be responsible for feeding millions daily, I spent more than 30 years doing exactly that. Today, my political opponent, Jim Banks, has to fall back on lying about my family's business making profits during COVID to try to paint me and every hardworking farmer falsely. I know, just as any other business in Indiana, the financial destruction caused by the COVID business closures. Our farm's egg markets evaporated, schools were closed, restaurants were closed, businesses were closed. Our markets literally dried up, causing us to lose so much money we had to sell a farm and our soybean meal processing plant right here in Seymour just to make payroll. I know exactly what it means when the government takes away. Then once they take it away, they actually blame us, the farmer, for rising egg prices when the dollars you use to purchase the eggs are worth less and less because the government keeps printing more and more. This is how career politicians stay in office, changing one life for another, flip-flopping on one position for another, all for their own career, never for Hoosiers. Everything I've done in my life, I have done for the betterment of all Americans, and I will continue to do so. These are the exact details on all of this in the next book I'm going to be talking about, my own, Unsilencing the 81%, how one farmer is fighting for conservative voices, businesses, and families in Indiana and beyond. This book is my life story, a story shared by so many of you, of hard work and accomplishment. It is why I'm running for the Senate, so that others can achieve the American dream just as my family has done. I'm going to continue this fight for the 81% of Hoosiers who are banned from running for political office to once again be able to enjoy their God-given constitutional rights. The Indiana State Legislature, Attorney General, and the Secretary of State are all attempting to once again to try and take our rights away from us. But I'm in this fight for you, not just for me. Abraham Lincoln said it best when he said, "Elections belong to the people. It is their decision." It's pretty simple, really. We just have to get rid of career politicians in Indiana. We have to elect outsiders. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. And remember, go to rust2024.com for more information. Thank you so much.